Got another edition of best travel gear under $100 today, but with a bit of a unique spin for the summertime. Summertime travel for me usually means a lot more outdoor activities, road trip travel, all that sort of thing. So a bit of an eclectic list here. Some of these are a bit bulky. I'm going to clear the table off and we'll get into the first item. First up, we've got a new battery from Banks, not summer specific, but it is brand new out and really fascinating. So I wanted to include it in this list. This is the Banks Stand Go 10,000 milliamp hour Magsafe battery. If you've been keeping up with my seasonal EDC updates, you know I'm a big fan of the 5,000 milliamp Banks battery. It's really small and compact, great capacity. I've seen actually a couple of these kickstand batteries in the past, but none of them have offered this capacity at this size before. I talked about one a couple of years back from ESR that was about the same dimensions as this, but only 5,000 milliamps. Obviously, Magsafe batteries, if you have an iPhone, really great and convenient and nice. Being able to have a kickstand added in is great. I have a little kickstand charger that I use a lot when I travel. This kind of combines all of that into one. You do actually have as well, you have a USB-C, USB-A port, and then the Magsafe charging. They allow you to charge 3 different things all at once, which I thought was kind of fascinating. You also have the ability to do pass-through charging, so you can plug this in, attach it to your phone, charge the power bank and your phone all at once with just one single cable. Not all Magsafe batteries can do that. It's pretty lightweight and small. It's about 19 millimeters thick. Like I said, the 5,000 milliamp hour one like this from ESR that I tried is actually a little bit bigger, half the capacity. This one's pretty thin for a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, not even counting the kickstand. Weighs about 7.5 ounces. I think that's about 200 grams. Really great travel item overall. This is probably going to be taking over as my new default travel battery for planes and just any kind of travel. Shifting into more of an outdoor focus or potentially regular travel if you need to bring blankets with you, but this is the Get Out Gear Down Puffy Blanket. I've actually had this since 2021 and I've used it throughout the past couple of years, and it's a great little item to have that comes in handy way more often than you'd expect. It's a full 80-inch by 54-inch down blanket, so kind of similar to a full or a double-sized bed. It's a 650 fill power down and weighs just a little over a pound. This isn't my kind of travel typically, but if you're staying in a hostel or something where you do need to bring or pack blankets with you, this could definitely be a compelling option for that. But for my use case, and I assume most people's use cases, for outdoor use, camping, things like that, and I think it really shines in that capacity. I could also see this being a kind of dedicated sleeping bag or sleeping quilt replacement if you do a lot of backpacking in extreme heat areas. You in the Southeast that were making fun of my flannel last week. Something like this would be a really good option for you to have, just to bring this as your main sleeping blanket while you're out backpacking. It's really lightweight, packs down really small. It's about 5 inches by 12 inches. It uses a 20D ripstop nylon as well, which is a little bit heavier duty than most, lightweight kind of ultralight backpacking blankets. A lot of times you'll see 7 to 15D. This is a 20D nylon, so it's going to be a little bit more burly and durable for, day-to-day regular, heavier type of use. All in all, a really great value. I think it comes in at $65 for proper down quilts and blankets. That is a crazy good deal. This has just been a nice little extra item to have that comes in handy all the time when I'm doing road trips and camping and all of that sort of stuff. Staying hydrated is obviously of year-round importance, but especially in the summer, if you're out doing, outdoor activities, sweating a bunch, you got to make sure that you have some water, a way to stay hydrated, or if you're traveling and trying to save some space, collapsible water bottles will really come in handy for that. This is the HydraPack Stash. This option here is a 750 ml water bottle. They do have a 1 liter version as well. So you have a fully collapsible water bottle that will still stand on its own, which is why I haven't used a lot of these, kind of soft-sided bottles in the past because I don't like, having to keep them on their side or anything like that. This has a full, hard plastic bottom, so it will stand up and you can kind of use it more like a regular water bottle, but it packs down to that tiny size. It only weighs 2.9 ounces as well, so really lightweight on the spectrum of water bottles. And you do have a 42 millimeter thread for the cap, which is compatible with a ton of water filters. You know, I use a Katadyn B-free filter when I'm out backpacking. This fits onto there. That's the main reason I wanted to get this for backpacking, but I know a ton of people love this style of bottle for travel. Definitely a really good one to check out, and a little bit better than like the Vapor Eclipse I know is really popular. I tend to think this is a favorite for those soft-sided water bottles for me. Really quick, I want to thank Friedrik for sponsoring this week's video, and I want to take a minute to introduce you to their Carry-On Pro suitcase. If you're not already familiar, Friedrik is a luxury leather goods brand that focuses on everyday accessories and really high quality suitcases and luggage. The Carry-On Pro is a 43-liter suitcase with a polycarbonate shell and Vachetta leather detailings around the exterior. Hard-sided luggage is always the way to go if you're investing in quality. It protects your gear a lot better on the inside. And the polycarbonate here is really lightweight compared to a lot of other, metal options and things like that. You want to make sure and save weight wherever you can and wherever it's easiest. The main opening on the Carry-On Pro is actually zipperless, which is really great. You have these satisfying clasps. Underneath, you have Japanese Hinomoto spinner wheels. They are super smooth, super silent, probably my favorite feature of the whole suitcase. Incredibly satisfying to have if you're rolling a suitcase around the airport. The main addition and feature with the Pro lineup, you have this exterior hard shell pocket, which you can put your laptop or other quick access items in. Really convenient if you're trying to get through security quickly and easily with a laptop or other electronics. All in all, it's been a really great piece of luggage. I've had this for quite some time. If you've been watching the channel for a while, it's definitely the nicest suitcase I've ever had. On top of all the features and the build quality and everything, you do have a 100-day trial period as well, which is really nice. So you can send it back and get a full refund if you need to in that time frame. They also offer a lifetime warranty, which is a must if you're investing in good quality luggage. They have worldwide shipping and really solid customer service before and after purchase. All in all, really great bag, great company. Be sure to check the links in the description below if you want to learn more about it or pick one up for yourself. Huge thanks again to Friedrik for sponsoring this week's video. Next on the list, I've got a camping chair, but not just any camping chair, one that is small enough to fit into a backpack and a fraction of the price of some of the competition. There are a ton of these different, random Chinese manufacturers on Amazon. This was just the one that I picked and I've been happy with it. I think they're all from the same manufacturing, so I can't say for sure. But I have been pretty happy with this one the past few years of owning it. The chair is from Marchway. It weighs 2.3 pounds and has a 300-pound weight limit capacity, which is really respectable for these smaller, lightweight chairs. I actually have a Helinox Chair Zero as well, which is a little bit less than half the weight of this, but to be honest, it is much more fragile and not quite as comfortable, and like 4 or 5 times the price. I think I paid like $150 for it. I use it for backpacking. I'm super weight conscious when I go out on the trail, and I'm definitely not skipping a chair, but I wanted something that would be a little bit more durable and not quite as fragile to bring on day-to-day trips, camping trips, trips to the beach, stuff like that. So I bought these a few years back. I just had to replace these. I had a set for my wife and I. My car got broken into and the bag that these were in got stolen, unfortunately. It's probably why they're fresh on my mind though. I just bought a new set of them for my wife and I. Really convenient to be able to have chairs that are small enough to fit into a backpack, to take to the beach, to take camping, just to keep in the back of your car in case you end up, out on a picnic or out somewhere where you want a seat. They come in handy constantly, and I like that these are inexpensive enough where it's not, a huge problem and you get to beat them up compared to some of the more like ultralight chairs in this size that are far more expensive and a little more fragile and don't have quite the same weight capacity. A quick side note before we get into the next item, like I said, my car was broken into. Does anyone have any dash cam recommendations for me? I've been looking into it, but it's a little convoluted online trying to do research. I'd love to hear if you have any firsthand experiences with dash cams, which ones you like, which ones to avoid. Be a huge help to me. It might be a future video idea or something too, but yeah, let me know down in the comments if you can. I would really appreciate it. Next item on the list, we've got a little portable travel cooler. This is the Bellroy Cooler Caddy. I'm a huge fan of these sorts of small coolers. Again, things that you can fit into a backpack. In the summer, I do a lot of hiking. I have bags, for road trips and things. These just come in handy constantly for me, whether it's, keeping cold drinks in the car while you're on a road trip, or, if you're wanting to pack a picnic to go somewhere for a hike, or if you want to have some Summit beers for the end of a hike and still keep them cool while you're hiking up to the peak. They are always useful for me, and this was a newer one that I'm testing out, and I've been really happy with it. But yeah, this one's just called the Bellroy Cooler Caddy. It fits into just about any backpack I own for the shape and size. That was really appealing to me. Holds about a 6-pack, you can see here. So, a 6-pack or, lunch bag, something like that. This would work really well. The material on the outside is recycled, and the insulation is 3M Thinsulate. That's actually 83% recycled as well. You have a little built-in bottle opener on the handle here, which I thought was a nice touch. Not much else to say about it. The cooling is sufficient. It's not an overly thick, it's not a big hard-sided Yeti cooler or anything. So you can't expect some miraculous results with it, but it's going to keep your stuff cool for a few hours. Going for a day by the water, going on a hike, something like that. Throw it in your backpack, have some cold or warm if you're at a picnic, goods to have and enjoy when you get there. Next on the list is a little unconventional and maybe goes more into car safety than road trip travel gear, but still thought it would be an interesting one to bring up here. I might actually be doing a separate car emergency kit type of loadout video. I spend a lot of time on service roads, and I spend a lot of hours driving around without any sort of cell service, and I have a car that's old enough to drink in the United States, so I got to be extra careful. This is the Noco Boost Plus. This is a little portable jump starter battery for your car. After being car free for so many years and getting a car and spending so much time out in the backcountry away from people, I knew just regular jumper cables weren't going to cut it, because I'll go hours without seeing people, or days sometimes if I'm out, backcountry camping, something like that. So I wanted to have a solution to be able to get my car out if it did die for some reason. This thing has saved me a number of times. There are a handful of different versions for this. This one's at 1,000 amps. The prices and the amperage changes pretty dramatically depending on what you need. So, check into your car and see what would be best for you. I got this one. It's $99, and it's worked perfectly well. I've had to jump my car a number of times, and it has never let me down. A few other features here that I think are really great for, emergency use. You can actually charge your phone from this or any other devices if you need to. You have a little built-in flashlight on here as well. Just a really handy piece of, emergency car tech in case your car breaks down. This is only relevant if you're in more remote locations like me, but Oregon has so much, BLM land, national forest land. I'm out there as often as I can through the summer months. This was an indispensable piece of travel kit for me, so I figured I would share it in case you weren't familiar quite yet with the newer technology. Next up is a couple of clothing pieces. First up, the Woolly Everyday Crew t-shirt. I'm a huge fan of the Woolly Merino t-shirts. I think they are a great value compared to a lot of other brands I've tested and tried. And it's also a bit of a personal preference, subjective type of thing, but I really love how these are cut. I'm wearing a gray one now if you want to see for perspective between the two. But merino t-shirts are really great for travel all around, but I think they especially shine in the summer and the warmer weather. If you're sweating a lot, you don't want to stink when you're out traveling, and merino just isn't going to smell nearly as much as most other shirt fabrics. Maybe, they have some good alpaca stuff I've talked about before. But in terms of, having something that's going to keep you cool in the heat, warm in the winter, it's a good moisture wicking natural type of fabric that's not going to smell if you get sweaty or if you want to re-wear it for a few days on a trip. I always bring these with me, but especially in the summer, I think they really shine. On the flip side of that, if you're worried about being in short sleeves all the time, if you're going to be out in the sun, if you're like a pale vampire like me, the REI Sahara Sunshade. This is a UPF 50 sun hoodie. Just a really thin, essentially a t-shirt with a hood that has some sun protection built in. I just talked about this in a roundup a month or so ago, so I don't want to dwell on it too much, but sun hoodies are amazing. I wear these always when I go backpacking just because I don't want to burn. I don't want to get all greased up and filthy when I'm out backpacking for a few days without a shower, so These really shine in those scenarios, but even in normal travel, I'll burn if I'm exposed to the sun for more than an hour without some sort of sun protection. So stuff like this is really handy for us poor pale-skinned vampire folks. You have tall sizes available in this as well. Someone was really excited in the comments last time I talked about it. They have a pretty big size range. So, if you're taller, it's tough to find tall sizes of things. So this is really great. So far, I've done a few more backpacking trips with this since I talked about it a month or so ago, and it continues to be great. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it holds up in the years to come. And we'll definitely report back like I have with all of my other Sun hoodies in years past. But that wraps it up for the list this week, everyone. Like I said, these were more like summer road trip sort of focused travel, but not entirely. I thought it would be a unique list. I know my mindset for things really changed through the nice summer months here in Oregon. Now, my wife and I are still relatively new to the state, so we are, road tripping all over the place, exploring new areas whenever we can when the weather is nice, and going out hiking and camping and backpacking and all of that sort of stuff. But let me know if you have any, summer specific gear, maybe like outdoor travel type of gear, or if there's any videos you want to see from me. I'll leave it all down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you all so much for watching though, and I will talk to you in the next one.